Okay, so let's do our warm up first. As usual, check your environments to make sure it is safe. Never just overdo it. So just do it to a moderate intensity. So just a little bit out of breath, not to the point of pain. Okay, always think long term. Okay, so let's just check our posture as well. So just stand a little bit taller, shoulders a little bit wider as well. Okay, and just kind of move in any way you prefer, mostly just to get a heart rate a little higher. I'm going to turn on my other light. Okay, I'm going to do this for 1 or 2 minutes first. And we're just going to move our joints as well. So let's start with the neck. So we're just going to look up and down. Okay, keep going while I let other people in. So just gently look up and down. Go as slow as you need to. Still be mindful of getting your chest up a little higher. So we're not over cranking the neck as we look up. Okay, let's move the spine. So kind of breathe out, slouch a little bit. Breathe in. Really try to push the middle of your chest up. Engage your back muscles. Okay, so just up and down. Okay, keep going. Okay, kind of breathing out as you look down, breathing in as you bring your chest up. Okay, let's turn side to side as well, starting from the neck. Okay, so turning side to side. Okay, let me mute everyone a little bit first. Okay, turning your shoulders and your spine as well. Okay, try to touch the opposite side of your hips. Okay, both on the front and the back. Relaxing the shoulders. Okay, let's do a little bit of side bending. We're just going to press up through one hand, try to open up the palm. Okay, breathing in as you reach up. Okay, slowly reach maybe a little bit higher, a little bit further across the midline. Still taking a deep breath in as we open up. Okay, and then we're going to try to do both arms together. So we're going to reach up. Okay, we're going to bring your chest up as well, just not just your arms. Try to press your armpits forward to get into a better position. Okay, so let's do 3 to 5 times. Breathing in. Okay, press your armpits forward. Bring your chest up. Maybe 1 or 2 more times. Okay, I'm just going to do 1 last time. Okay, lengthen through the fingertips. Okay, straightening out. Let's go backwards. Okay, we're going to reach back. Okay, probably this one, kind of breathe out maybe. As you reach back. Thumbs facing inwards. Maybe 1 last time. Okay, I'm going to go into shoulder roll. Okay, do a very exaggerated one. Okay, so move your spine. Okay, arch your back as you bring your shoulders up and back. Okay, and round your shoulders back a little forward as you go down and forward. Okay, and just 35 times each direction. Okay, relaxing the shoulders. Okay, let's kind of move our arm side to side a few more times. Let's see if you can open your palm, point your fingers back as you reach your arms back as well. Maybe feel a little bit of stretch in the front of your chest, front of your arm. Okay, let's go into a circle. Okay, just mostly the elbows. Okay, so elbow stays in the same place. Arms are moving, or your fingers are moving in a circle. Okay, opposite direction, reach into your armpits. Okay, move the entire arm a little bit more, swinging from the shoulders. Okay, go as slow as you need to again if you have any shoulder issues or any recent surgery. Okay, back to the wrists. Okay, try to keep our feet moving if we feel comfortable. Open and closing the hand. Okay, open and closing the fingertips. Okay, side to side of the fingers. Okay, and shake everything out. Okay, I'll just wiggle your fingers first. Okay, and then shake everything out. Okay, let's go into hip circle. Okay, your head doesn't move too much. Most of your hips going around in a more exaggerated fashion. Okay, you might feel a little bit stretch behind your legs as you push your butt back. Okay, bend and extend both knees. Okay, just to lubricate them a little bit more. Okay, see if you can balance a little bit longer on one leg. Okay, so always check our balance, see how we feel each day. Okay, get some support if you don't feel steady today. Okay, let's check front to back. So we're gonna just shift our weight forward and back. Okay, onto our toes, onto our heels. Let's see how that feels for you today as well. Okay, exaggerate that a little bit more, going onto our toes and heels. Also moving the toes and the ankles a little bit more. Okay, let's tilt your ankles side to side a little bit. Okay, and let's check our balance one more time. Move our ankles a little bit more one more time. So see if you can stand on one leg. You need to grab a chair for support or grab a wall. Okay, same thing on the other side. Okay, lastly, wiggle your toes. Stretch the floor of your toes. Try to lift your toes off the ground. Okay, spread them apart a little bit if you can control them. Okay, and let's get ready for 10-minute sets. Okay, so every beep you hear kind of in the background, every time I beep, it's 30 seconds. Okay, so every 30 seconds we're going to do one maybe a little bit more complicated, maybe slightly harder, and then 30 seconds of what we call active rest. So active rest is just you can slow down a little bit if you want to, but try to keep moving in some ways. You can also keep the same pace or speed up if you like it's pretty easy for you. Okay, so you can just adjust using that. Okay, first minute, we're still going to go a little bit faster, sorry, a little bit slower, but maybe faster than during a warm-up. Okay, so maybe start to lift your knees a little higher, move your shoulders a little bit more, a little bit faster. Okay, go by how you feel. Okay, we're still going to warm up the lower body a little bit more. So first round, we're just going to exaggerate the marching motion. We're going to reach up overhead of the hands, bring our knee to about hip level. So just exaggerated motion a little bit more. Once again, you are in control of your own pace, so you don't have to. You can go faster than me. You can go slower than me as well. We're just trying to be slightly out of breath for about 10 minutes at a time at least. Okay, back to just a regular march. Okay, so once again, slow down, speed up as you see fit. Okay, let's move our hips side to side. So we're just going to reach out one foot that way, reach out the other arm, see if you can open the palm. Actually press, imagine just pressing outwards on the opposite side. Okay, so try to reach out. Okay, also move the hand a little bit more by opening up the hand, feeling the muscles at the back of the hand. Okay, usually we still grab things too much. So we want to kind of balance out by opening it a little more during exercise. Okay, see if you can really reach out to the foot as well. Okay, so feel the side of the hips engaging. Okay, and back to the marching. Okay, next one, we're just going to move our hips backwards. Okay, so we're just going to do the same thing. Try to squeeze your butt muscles to reach back to the foot. Don't over lean forward. Okay, with the arms, we're just going to reach kind of up and forward. Okay, so it looks something like this. Okay, so my upper body stays relatively still. I'm just trying to use my butt muscle to squeeze my hip backwards. And my arms just go as high as before as I feel comfortable. Okay, so if your shoulders hurt, you can just maybe just do even here. Elbow to shoulder height is usually a little bit safer for any shoulder issues. Okay, so next one, we're just going to go more of a hip circle. So we're going to still lift our knees up, okay, but we're going to lift it up and go in a circle out, lift, and alternating between the two legs. Okay, be a little bit harder for the balance because you're spending more time on one foot. Okay, so you're just going to be alternating between both legs. Okay, so you can go smaller circles first if you want to. Okay, so you're lifting it up and then out, up and out. Okay, so if you want to, you can even coordinate your arms. So usually the opposite side, you can reach up and across. Okay, that one, a little bit of a slower one. So you feel like your heart rate has kind of dropped back down a little bit, maybe speed up slightly during this round or during the active rest. Okay, you can always do the talk test. So try to count out loud in one breath in a normal talking voice. See how high you can count up to. Okay, if you can easily count 10 and above, it means it might be a little bit easy, so you might want to speed up. Okay, so for this round, adjust your pace. So if you feel like it was pretty easy, if you can still talk, pretty like a long sentence, see if you want to speed up a little bit. If you're very out of breath before, take this round to just slow down a little bit, just keep moving in some ways. So always kind of monitor your own intensity and adjust as you see fit. Okay, and we slow down slightly. Okay, we've done about 6 minutes. We're 4 more minutes in this set. Okay, so let's do almost the same thing as before, but let's exaggerate a little bit. So we're still lifting our knee up. Okay, but this time we're going to try to bring it a little higher, so you can point our elbow towards our knee. If you don't have any back issues, if you don't have any osteoporosis, You can even try to touch it, okay? But if you have back issues, if you have osteoporosis, just pointing it, stay up and upright. It's good enough already. Okay, so don't overstretch the spine if you have back problems. Okay, but otherwise, feel free to see if you can almost do a mini crunch. Okay, and back to the marching. Okay, if you have any recent heart surgery, just be careful anything in your chest too much. Just take it gentle if something this is not something you're quite used to doing. Okay, so the same idea, but instead of touching the floor, we're going to lift the foot off the ground. Okay, so a little bit harder on both hips. Okay, so you're just going to do pushing up, arms. Once again, we adjust to elbow to shoulder height. Okay, but your hips are a little bit higher. Okay, so much harder on this side of the hips. So adjust how high you're lifting up. Okay, could feel pretty tiring. Okay, giving the hips a rest. Okay, last one, similar idea, reaching backwards, but this time we have the foot off the ground, the leg is still straight. So we're not bending the knee, we're still trying to use our butt muscles to what we call extension of the hips. So you can even put your hand on your butt to see if you can feel that squeeze. See if you can consciously squeeze that muscle a little bit harder. Be careful you're not bringing the motion from the spine, so your spine stays in the same shape. Okay, you're just squeezing your butt muscles a little bit harder. Arms can be, once again, going forward and up. Okay, so we feel first a little bit in the backs of your bum, I guess. Okay, last round, we're just gonna go upwards again. Okay, kind of moderate range, a little bit faster for the last round of the set. Okay, so kind of going upwards, not too high, just a little bit faster than the one we did before. So feel free to go a little bit faster if you feel comfortable. You can even keep your heel on toes on the ground and just pump your heels. 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, and let's slow back down. Okay, so always remember not to just suddenly stop. Your heart goes into more likely to go into regular heartbeat. If you just suddenly go from very fast to stopping. Okay, so keep moving in some ways. Even if you do need to sit down, keep pumping your heels. That helps to bring the blood back to our heart. Some people's their blood might pool in their legs and they might get a little lightheaded. Okay, so keep moving in some ways first. Feel free to drink water or anything like that, but just move a little bit. Okay, so as a mini cool down, let's do kind of a little bit of balance stepping as well. Let's keep it simple first. We're going to do the tightrope walking again. Okay, so you're just kind of walking forward and back. Okay, but try to see if you have one foot a little bit more ahead of the other one. So easy will be wider, harder will be with your feet more narrow. Okay, so let's just start off walking forward and back. Okay, you don't have to do it too fast. Mostly we're just treating this as a cool down. Okay, if this is easy for you, maybe today let's try, see if you can maybe close one eye. Okay, just to change up how, because we're very reliant on vision, so you can increase the difficulty by changing what we're seeing. Okay, so let's close, if you feel comfortable, you can see if you can close one eye. Okay, you can switch between the two, see if there's any difference. Okay, usually we also eye dominant in some ways, so we tend to focus on one eye a little bit more. So that's why archers, they have a preferred side, not just because of the eyes, which eye they see with a little bit more. Okay, so if you feel like your breathing is back down, your heart rate is back down, let's take a little bit of a break. Okay, so let's check the time. Right now it's 9:52 on the dot almost, so let's come back at 9:54 for the second set. Okay, if you feel like it, keep moving. If you take a break, do some stretching. If you need to, get some water, definitely. If you feel like it, definitely if you sweat it, even breathing faster will get more kind of moisture in our body. Let's come back at 9 in 2 minutes or so. Okay, so can you give a Zoom meeting code for the session? Yes, I can. So I'll send you the page afterwards of all the meeting ID, so you don't have to always check your email. Okay, so I'll do that afterwards. But we're going to let's do the second set first. Okay, still as I always repeat, ramp up gradually. Okay, doesn't mean very slow, but just relatively slower from this at the beginning. Ramping up. Okay, first round, move side to side first. Okay, kind of just shuffle your feet and move side to side. Okay, easier version just to keep stepping as you move side to side. If you feel comfortable, actually, so easier version just small steps side to side. If you feel comfortable, you can go into bigger steps. Okay, might be easy if you swing your arms side to side as well. Just go as slow as you need to. For safety, always safety first. If you feel comfortable, you can go a little bit faster. And once again, maybe ramping up slowly. Start to pick up the pace if you feel comfortable. Okay, next round, almost same idea. We're still moving side to side. Okay, but we're gonna go into a almost mini squat. So we're gonna take a little bit bigger step. Okay, you're gonna almost duck down slightly. Okay, not too low. Okay, and you're just gonna go side to side. Okay, so you're gonna go squatting down a little bit. Okay, so remember, push your bum out. Okay, so don't push your knee forward, push your butt back. Okay, just take it easy at the beginning. Okay, just very small duck. Okay, just to wake up our thigh muscles, our quad muscles first. Okay, still shifting our weight from foot to foot. Okay, next one, I'm going to do the back. So we're just going to kick our heel up a little higher. You can try to get as close to your butt as you feel comfortable. Okay, but see if you can feel the back of your thighs contracting. Okay, but march for about 5 seconds more first. Okay, so kick your heel up. You can try to see if you can get your hand behind, try to see if you can get your heel to be closer to your fingertips. Okay, and back to the march. Okay, next one, we're just going to do almost a combination. Okay, so we're going to do the heel kick one time. Okay, and then we're going to try to touch the knee to the opposite hand one time. Okay, so it'll be heel up, okay, and then knee up, and then switch sides. Okay, so it'll be heel up, touch, heel up, touch, heel up, touch, heel up. So it's a little bit coordination I'm trying to get used to it as well. Okay, just a little bit more coordination. Okay, so the second one, you don't really have to bend the heel. Okay, just lift the knee up. Okay, so it's good to almost train your brain a little bit. A movement we're not quite used to, something we need to think about slightly. Okay, next one, let's just go to back to basic, just a half jumping jack. So hands goes up to your forehead, one leg goes out, moderate pace. Feel like it's easy. Lift the foot up as well. Okay, that'll be harder. Okay, or you can just move faster as well. Okay, you don't have to do very big motion, do a little bit smaller motion, especially if you're going fast. Okay, once again, check your pace. Okay, do the talking test again. So I kind of feel like I'm not as out of breath as first time. Could be I'm warmed up a little bit more. I'm going to choose to go maybe a little faster for myself. Okay, once again, adjust to your own pace. Okay, next one I'm going to do is just almost a jumping upwards movement. So you're going to be, instead of jumping, you're just going to go up onto your toes. Squeeze your butt, squeeze your thighs almost to go a little bit higher. Okay, your calves, back of your calves probably going to be a little more tight this time. You can choose to go a little bit lower than squatting, but not to the point of discovering the hips or the knees. Okay, and adjust this period if you feel like that was also very hard. Slow down a little bit here. If you feel like it's fine, keep going. Do you? Okay, so the next one, let's move the hips forward and back. Okay, we're just going to do one leg at a time. Okay, so you're just going to be setting mostly on one leg, and you're just going to lift your knee forward and back. Okay, if you feel comfortable, see if you can exaggerate the motion. So you can bring your arms up and then meet your knee forward. Okay, so try to do it on one side first. Okay, a little bit much harder on the non-moving leg. Once again, just adjust the pace. That was difficult, slow down, make the range of motion a little bit smaller. Okay, this round, exact same thing, opposite side. Okay, so start off, just bring your knee forward and back. Okay, if you feel comfortable, maybe use arms as well. Okay, if you really want to really exaggerate the motion. Okay, once again, harder on the non-moving leg for most people. Okay, last round. We didn't let our leg rest a little bit. We can just do a mini squat. We're just going to punch forward with the arms. Okay, but stay a little lower if you feel comfortable. So arms, you're just going to squat down. Remember to stick your bum out. So lower, of course, is harder. Okay, so go to your own comfort level. Thighs are probably going to be a little tight at the end of the 30 seconds. Okay, but still stick your bum out. Okay, so if you look down, your knees should be behind your toes. 3 more seconds. 2, 1. So try to control your breathing. Okay, so take a little longer breath in, a little bit longer breath out. Okay, we're going to keep moving in some ways until you feel like your heart rate, your breathing rate is at least closer to your resting state. Okay, so for the cooldown kind of walk, we're going to do almost exact same thing, still tightrope walking, but instead of just doing a small step forward, you're going to exaggerate it. Okay, so let's see if you can swing maybe your leg around. Okay, so you can make it, see if you can almost step up and over something. Okay, and you can do almost the same thing backwards. Okay, so the point once again is just to almost for a cooldown, work on a balance a little bit at the same time. Okay, once again, play around with your vision. So one eye closed. If you feel really comfortable, even both eyes closed, that'll be much harder. Okay, make sure you are in a safe environment if you are going to do that. Okay, so let's do that for maybe 1 minute. You know, until at least you feel like your heart rate is calming back down. Okay, keep going if you want to, but let's check the time again. Right now it's 10:06. Okay, let's come back about 10:08 for the first set. If you're new, you don't have to do everything if it's very easy for you, you can keep marching, keep moving in some ways during the break. So let me try to find the Zoom meeting code again. You can also always click on maybe the upper left corner, like a green shield. That will also show you the meeting ID code as well. So this document has the meeting ID code for all the different classes as well. So it should say the meeting ID and registration link should be like a how many digits is that? Like 11-digit number. That would be the meeting ID. Yeah. Even the link, if you want to save the link, that would be the same as well every time. Different from class to class, but same for the same class. No problem. Okay, so let's get ready for our final set. Okay, once again, as usual, ramp still. Give yourself a little bit of time to ramp up. You probably can go faster even for the second set because you kind of warmed up for the first one already. Okay, but ramp up still gradually. Okay, I'm going to choose to speed up now because it's my third set, so body probably is warmed up. Okay, first one, a little bit more shoulders. Okay, we're just gonna have our hands out while keep our legs moving. So the easiest way is to keep your arms kind of stay still here. If you want to, you can add a little bit of a circle. Okay, find a kind of angle that is comfortable for your shoulders. So if wide open is not comfortable, maybe have a little bit more forward. Of course, if you want to make it harder, add a little bit of a circle, small circle at the end. Okay, so just get it back out. Okay, next one is similar idea. We'll have the hands out in front, okay, and we're actually the feet not going to move much. Okay, we're just going to almost shake our hands side to side, just maybe a shoulder width. Okay, so our feet is going to start moving for this round. Okay, and just move your hands a little bit faster side to side. Your abdominal muscles, your trunk muscles, tighten it a little bit, maybe your back as well. Harder to take a longer breath in. Okay, so just to take short breaths in and out. 10 more seconds or so. Shoulders probably a little tight by now. And relax your shoulders again. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of rotation next. Okay, so you can just reach across. Okay, spin, turn your entire body. Also, not going to be marching up and down. Feet is going to be mostly stable. Okay, but rotate your entire body like maybe you're throwing a punch or something. Okay, but move your feet, move your hips. Okay, don't just twist your spine. And once again, just find your pace. You can also always check your heart rate if you have the tools for it, or you know how to manually check it. Okay, next one still side to side, but we add a little bit of squatting. So both arms together, you can go down to one knee and throw it up. So you can just fling something. Okay, so you go kind of a little bit lower, and a little bit higher. How high and how low, completely up to you. Okay, by going to a little bit of mini squat. On the side, your back is not really rounding so much. You're just sticking your bum out. Your body should naturally lean forward. One thigh is going to be a little bit more tight than the other. So the one that's kind of absorbing the force as you go down, the one that's a little more tight. Okay, next one, exact same thing, but just the opposite direction. Okay, same idea, feet a little wider, not so much moving. Okay, but try to absorb the force and then almost push yourself out. Once again, be careful with the range of motion. If you have any shoulder trouble, any chest surgery, things like that, or even just knee issues. Okay, next one, we're gonna do similar thing. Still shifting our weight from one leg to the other. So we go into a mini squatting stance, with feet a little wider. Okay, we're gonna be punching forward, but we'll be shifting the hips side to side. So we're gonna put more weight on the one leg, then put more weight on the other leg. Okay, so a little bit lower stance, a little wider, maybe through the stance. Still stick your bum out. Still only go as low as you feel comfortable with your knees. Okay, but see if you can shift your weight from one leg to the other. Okay, while just keeping your arms moving. Okay, so bum. Okay, 3 more minutes to go. Okay, so let's give the thighs a little bit of rest. Let's just do a cross step. So you're just going to be bringing one leg back and across, okay, and alternating between the two sides. Okay, if you are very fit, you can go make a step, but just be careful of your knees. Okay, so it's almost like a mini jump almost. Okay, but only even do, if you don't feel comfortable, do smaller one is completely fine as well. Okay, next one, same idea, but just crossing our leg from the front. this one probably don't take too big of a step. Okay, so maybe just more of a tap. Okay, easy to balance if you're moving your opposite hand and leg. Okay, slight twist in the spine. Okay, so kind of last round, also a bit of a cool down round. You're gonna do the cross step, front and back. Okay, so we'll be moving sideways, but you just be crossing legs in front, okay, and then crossing the other leg in the back. Okay, so take this as slowly as you need to, but you're just crossing in front, bring it back out, crossing it back. Okay, if you feel comfortable, you can, of course, go faster. Okay, but take it as slowly as you need to for safety. Okay, I'm just doing whatever you need to do. Okay, so let's continue this for maybe a little bit longer. Okay, just throwing back down. Okay, you can, of course, try to make it a little bit of a bigger step. Turn your hips if you want to. Okay, but still treat this as a cool down, so don't try too hard. Okay, and just gradually slowing down. Okay, and we're just going to do our usual couple of stretches. Starting from the calves again. So just find anything you can prop your toes high up with. Okay, so higher than your heels, I mean. So it could be a chair, it could be a wall, anything that you can get your heel or your toes up. I like to use a block, a yoga block, or use a big book or a brick. And you're just going to put your toes up, heels on the ground. And you're just going to get your hips over your foot. And you should feel a stretch behind the lower leg, the calves. Okay, at this point, really try to slow down your breathing a little bit. Okay, so always try to make it a game to see how long you can make a breath cycle is, or how long it takes for you to take a breath in and take a breath out. See if you can slow that down a little bit. But it most will be about 10 seconds per breath cycle. So don't try too hard. Okay, so same position, but this time knee a little bit more forward. Okay, it's kind of still stretching the more of an ankle stretch than the muscle stretch. Make sure your knee is still over the foot. Okay, so not caving in, not caving out, just roughly we draw a line down, be over the foot. Okay, and switch sides whenever you're ready. Okay, with the straight knee one first. advanced knee version. Okay, next one, stretching the hip flexors. So one foot forward, one foot back. If you can get the back heel down, that'll be good. Just be spending more time stretching your ankles out. Okay, square your hips to the front. Okay, and try to lift your belt buckle up a little higher. Okay, and then drive your hips a little more forward, feeling a stretch in the front of the hips. Be careful that your back is not overarching. So there's a little bit of curvature in the back, but it should be the same as if you're just standing still. Okay, so usually most people need to bring the front of the hips up a little higher, just so they're not overarching their backs. Same thing on the other side. Okay, buckle up, hips forward. And what we call neutral back. Okay, so neutral back is just if you're just standing normally, the curvature of the spine, we just call that neutral. Okay, so last one would just be relaxing the back a little bit. Okay, so some people, you might have heard like the best position is your kind of your next position. So anytime you spend too long in one position, it's not very good for our body. So we've been standing tall for a while, so let's give our back a little bit of rest. So a couple of ways to do it. You can either just lean forward from your so stick your bum back. You can either rest your elbow on your knees. Okay, if you have a table or a chair, you can kind of rest your kind of elbows on the back rest as well. Okay, so just a little bit of a curve in the back. Okay, and you're just going to try to take a couple of deep breaths in and out. Okay, but do try to stick your bum back. And because there's less room in your front for your kind of your lungs and diaphragm to expand, you feel a little more motion in the back, and that's kind of what we're looking for. Just always use that breathing to relax our back muscles a little bit, stretch it out slightly. Okay, so imagine trying to, as you breathe in, try to expand your back a little bit. You're not trying to push your back up. You're just going to let your lungs to kind of inflate your back a little bit. So it's just a very small movement. So this would be kind of a modified child's pose from yoga where they kind of lean forward. Okay, so we're just using our breath to relax our back a little bit. Okay, so thank you for coming, everyone. A little over time today, but thank you for coming. Maybe see everyone next time. No problem. Bye.